Many thanks for joining us again on the newsroom. President Muhammadu Buhari is presiding over a virtual Federal Executive Council meeting at the State House in Abuja. Those attending the meeting include Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, Secretary to the Government of the Federation Boss Mustapha, and Chief of Staff to the President Ibrahim Gambari. Other ministers are attending the meeting virtually from their various offices in Abuja. More Nigerians, including President Muhammadu Buhari, have joined the campaign against rape and physical abuse amid rising cases in the country. The president on Tuesday called for a thorough investigation into emerging cases of rape across the federation. Buhari, in a tweet, condoled with the family of Uwaila Omozua, a Uniben undergraduate who was raped in a church in Edo State, and charged the police to ensure the culprits are brought to justice. In the same vein, national leader of the All Progressives Congress, Bola Tinubu, took to Twitter in solidarity with all women, decrying the recent reports of rape and human rights abuse. No fewer than 5 rape cases have been reported across the country in the past 1 week. The most recent is that of an 18-year-old student of the Federal College of Animal Health and Production, Barakat Bello, who was gang raped and murdered in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. The Office of the Attorney General of the Federation has taken over the prosecution of the alleged Taraba State kidnap kingpin Bala Hamisu, also known as Wadume, along with 19 others. The Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, had been investigating the case since February 3, 2020, after slamming 16 counts of terrorism, murder, kidnapping, and illegal arms running against the 20 defendants, including 2 police officers and 10 soldiers. Only 6 of the 20 defendants, including Wadume, were present in court on Wednesday. At a hearing on Wednesday, the prosecuting counsel from the AGF Police, Labaron Magaji, told Justice Nyako that his office took over the case and received the case file from the police on Tuesday. He requested an adjournment to enable him make moves for the production of all the defendants in court. Meanwhile, Justice Ijeoma Ojukwu of the Federal High Court in Abuja has dismissed the 1.1 billion naira fraud charges brought against a former Comptroller General of the Nigerian Customs Service, Abdullahi Dikko, by the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC. The ICPC had filed fraud charges against Dikko and 2 others in February 2019. But on Wednesday, the judge dismissed the charges after the ICPC applied to withdraw it. ICPC lawyer E.A. Shogunle informed the court that they have been unable to apprehend Dikko despite the arrest warrant issued against him. Shogunle therefore made an oral application withdrawing the charges. Justice Ojukwu granted the application and dismissed the charges. We'll bring you more stories after this break. Don't go away.
In the last 3 years, we have built a multi-purpose center, which is the envy of all in our constituency. And I can tell you that the people who are living there are already enjoying it.
Guy, do you think what this man just said is true? See, I seriously doubt. I'm sure it's one of those their silly lies.
Wait, do you know there's a way to find out if these things he's saying is true or not? This is the Construct app. It gives people like us a sure way to track implementation of constituency projects. It gives valid and verified information on location of projects, amounts allocated, amount funded, the level of job done, and even the profiles of concerned legislators. You and I can post directly on this app.
Are you serious?
This is the Go-To app. If you want to know how our Commonwealth is being expanded by the government.
Wow. Let's even see if what this man said is true. Show me.
The Construct app is developed by Other People Nigeria with support from USAID and is available on both Google Play Store and Apple Store.
And it's true.
Of course, I told you.
On TV360, we don't just ask the questions. What is wrong with amending the Constitution the way the National Assembly members have been doing it? We seek answers.
Constitution is constituent. Our problem is not lack of laws. Our problem is lack of the willpower to implement our laws.
Answers that provide clarity.
While we negotiate, we should try to make it a point that the girls must be complete.
The clarity you need to make informed judgment. so that you can make the right decision and take action. People are saying it is you politicians that are responsible for this, that you are the reason why this is happening.
All these dullards that call themselves governors in this country?
I wish we had people like Tony at the National Assembly.
God forbid that I go to join that stand-up.
TV360, providing clarity to issues.
Welcome back. And now a look at the COVID-19 situation in Nigeria. Nearly 1,000 health workers in the country have contracted the novel coronavirus, making up almost 10% of the country's total figure of 10,819. Director General of the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, Chikwe Ihekwazu, who disclosed this, said 29 officials of the NCDC are among the infected health workers. Meanwhile, the NCDC on Tuesday confirmed 241 new cases of the novel coronavirus in 13 states and the FCT. It also adds that the number of deaths has risen to 314, while 3,239 patients have recovered from the illness. According to the NCDC, Nigeria has the third highest COVID-19 figure in Africa. The management of the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, has confirmed that Ibanga Basi Etang, its late Executive Director of Finance and Administration, died of complications from COVID-19. After the death of Etang, the Commission shut its head office in Port Harcourt, Rivers State's capital, and asked its staff to go on self-isolation immediately. This had fueled speculation that Etang died from complications of COVID-19, but the Commission had asked the public to disregard the reports on the cause of the death of its director. But in a statement on Tuesday, Charles Odili, NDDC's Director of Corporate Affairs, said the family of the deceased authorized the Commission to announce that the late Executive Director tested positive for COVID-19. The Director's death comes amid a forensic audit of the Commission's activities as ordered by President Muhammadu Buhari. Meanwhile, the Lagos state government has announced that churches, mosques, and other worship centers will remain shut due to the increasing number of coronavirus cases in the state. The federal government had on Monday, June 1st, lifted the ban on mosques and churches in the country based on guidelines and protocols agreed with state governments.
We held a continuous sensitization meeting with the leadership of all religious leaders in Lagos State on Wednesday, 18th March 2020 at the Baguda Kato Press Center. This meeting ended with a joint decision by all religious bodies to reduce the attendance of worshippers to an initial of 50 people before there was an announcement by the governor to further reduce to the number of 20. Our religious leaders came together again on the 18th of March 2020 after reviewing the situation to agree on a total lockdown of religious worship centers across the state before President Muhammadu Buhari came up with an announcement of locking down Lagos, Ogun, and Abuja. We can imagine what would have happened if we had continued to worship at various centers before the pronouncement of Mr. President. Bearing it in mind, the population and the nature of Lagos State. To our religious leaders, we say thank you for your understanding and cooperation.
We'll take another break here to bring you business, sports, and international stories. Welcome back. President Muhammadu Buhari has given his backing to the head of the African Development Bank, ADB, Akinwumi Adesina, in his re-election bid despite allegations of improper conduct. Buhari gave the assurance when Adesina paid him a courtesy visit in Abuja on Tuesday. In a statement released after the visit, President Buhari said Nigeria will stand solidly behind Adesina in his bid to get re-elected as president of the AFDB. The AFDB president has been accused of abuse of office by a whistleblower at the bank, including favoritism in hiring. Adesina, who denied the allegations, was later cleared of wrongdoing in an internal investigations, but the US and other European countries have called for an independent probe into the matter. Meanwhile, several former African heads of state and current president have signed a separate statement supporting Adesina. To the foreign scene, a cyclone racing in from the Arabian Sea has struck India's west coast after intensifying on its approach to the country's financial hub Mumbai and forcing the evacuation of tens of thousands of people. Cyclone Cila will be the first major cyclone to make landfall in India's most populous city in decades. The cyclone began making landfall around 100 kilometers south of Mumbai at about 2:30 p.m. local time. With 20 million people, Mumbai is already badly hit by the coronavirus pandemic, and officials say at least 100,000 people, including COVID-19 patients, were moved to safer locations due to the cyclone. The storm comes barely 2 weeks after Cyclone Amphan hit India's east coast, killing at least 96 people in both eastern India and Bangladesh. Super Eagles striker Victor Osimhen has been voted Player of the Season by French League One club Lille. The club named their announcement on their social media handle on Tuesday. Osimhen, who joined Lille from Belgian Sporting Charleroi last summer, scored 18 goals in all 31 appearances for the French team until the coronavirus pandemic caused the season to be halted. The 21-year-old striker was also named Charleroi Player of the Season before his £10 million summer move to Lille. Clubs in England, Italy and Spain are showing interest in the striker, but Lille insists they will only do business for a transfer fee in the region of £80 million. And that's the latest from the newsroom. Many thanks for joining us. Bye for now.